This morning as well in qualifying. It caught out Mitch Evans. He hit the barrier, means he will not be starting this race. Robin Fries is right at the back though for Envision. He's got a 20-place penalty for an MGU change. Nico Müller, he also hit the wall in qualifying in Group B. Meanwhile, further up the order, you've got the two Maseratis, Stoffel Van Dorn and Jake Hughes, both struggling here today. What a difference a day makes in Formula E terms. Then you've got Sebastian Buemi, 16th position. He was a winner in Monaco a fortnight ago. Zay Maloney alongside. Jake Dennis lines up 14th for Andretti. He was disqualified from the race yesterday. He's got Nick Cassidy alongside, who managed to sneak into the points in round 8. And then we look at the top 10, and here is how it lines up. You've got Sam Bird in 10th place. That's only his second top 10 start of season 11. He's had no points since Jeddah. His teammate Taylor Barnard alongside for Neon McLaren, making it an all-Neon McLaren Row 5. He was on the podium here yesterday. Norman Nato was in the wall in the group stages of qualifying, the quarterfinal stages of qualifying, I should say. He'll be hoping for some forward progress, whilst Acosta seeks his first podium since Miami. He's second in the championship, but 63 points adrift. Grassi, his season best qualifying for Lola Yamaha at, and then Mortara, he was 6th yesterday and lines up 1 place ahead in P5 this afternoon. Jean-Marie Vergne 4th on the grid for a second successive Formula E weekend. His last podium in Formula E was back in Portland last year. Wehrlein pointless yesterday, and he will be hoping for progress for his first top 3 start for the first time since Jeddah. Dan Ticktum, his best ever qualifying in Formula E, his first time on the front row in his 57th start, but it is Oliver Rowland, the championship leader, a 10th career pole position, his 3rd time start up, but for his crash in qualifying. The green flag is waved at the back. It is all eyes on the light as Formula E takes over in Tokyo. Lights out and we're underway. Away from the start, and a good launch there for Oliver Rowland. He chops over on Dan Ticktum. Look though at the Porsche of Pascal Wehrlein coming through on the outside, 3 abreast down in towards T1. Ticktum trying to firm it around the outside through turn 2. Can he get the better of Wehrlein, or is Wehrlein going to come through? Very close quarters between the two. Rowland's managed to keep hold of the lead into turn 4. Still side by side we are for second place, and Ticktum does manage to stay ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. Tries to challenge for the lead against Oliver Rowland, but the door was very firmly shut.
Taylor Barnard making a great move there down the inside of turn 6.
There's contact in the mid-pack here as well. I think that's one of the DS Penskes who clattered into the back of somebody. Da Costa was definitely in the midst of some contact in the middle of the pack there as well, as we see Norman Nato trying to cycle through against Lucas Di Grassi for 8th position. Through turn 9 we go, down into the braking zone of turns 10 and 11. Rowland it is that leads then. Ticktum, then Wehrlein, then Mortara, then Vergne. So pretty much as you were at the start of this race, but a lot of action in the mid-pack.
And we saw a lot of good behaviour between Dan Ticktum and Pascal Wehrlein. They both had the Porsche powertrain. I'm sure they were both told to behave in that first part of the lap.
Something that's quite hard to control, because obviously Pascal had the opportunity to be inside for turn 2, but they managed to really well to drive there together without any contact.
Look at Rowland as well. He is leading this one, and he's trying to build out a bit of a buffer here with the likes of Dan Ticktum and Pascal Wehrlein very close behind. This is expected to be an energy-sensitive race, but not one that's a peloton style like we've seen in previous Formula E races. So let's see how this one is going to play out, and how much energy the drivers will need to conserve over the course of it once we get into the first flying lap. Fries is in the pit lane then. He started right at the back.
So the penalty has been given, so we will box this lap, maximise the slipstream while you can.
So that's as part of his 20-place grid penalty. He has to serve a drive-through there as well. So a stop and go for Robin Fries, meaning that he will come back into the race quite a way down. His hope now will be a safety car.
He's just going to have to save as much energy as possible now, drive around in clean air, hope that the guys don't catch up to him, and then a safety car or something like that can bring him back into the game.
Some damaged wing for, I think, De Vries, is it? Like, I've seen his wing pointing vertically up, not ideal.
Yeah, it is Nick De Vries riding on board with the Dutchman there now, coming in towards turn 15. So he's obviously been involved in the contact in the mid-pack. You can see as we look underneath that front wing there.
It looks like he's taking a bite out of someone else's diffuser.
Yeah, this happens really easily in Formula E when everyone is like nose to tail in the first lap. It's Constantino effect, and he bunches up. So I think he've hit some the gearbox of the McLaren of Sam Bird probably, and let's hope his wing doesn't fly across the field and needs to pit.
Interestingly, Vergne's teammate, De Vries's teammate, Mortara, is under investigation, as well as Jean-Eric Vergne, for a collision on the opening lap. They're both still circulating in 4th and 5th place respectively. Here is Eder Mortara as we ride on board with him. So we'll have to pick the bones out of that one and hope that we get a first look at it. Meanwhile, first attack mode deployment then is Jake Hughes. So if you're new to Formula E, welcome along. It's great to have you here. Drivers get 2 attack mode deployments in the race. They get a total of 8 minutes, and they must do it in either 4 minutes and 4 minutes, 2 minutes and 6 minutes, or the converse of that, 6 minutes and 2 minutes. Jake Hughes going for 6 minutes early on as he's quite far down the pack.
I think what he'll be trying to do is, whilst the pack's fairly close, he'll be using those 6 minutes to try and make as many positions as possible. When you have the all-wheel drive, you get much more acceleration off these slow corners. You have to overconsume a little bit of energy, but you can really jump yourself up the field and give yourself the best possible chance for a strong race result.
Yeah, and on a track like this where it's very difficult to overtake, you really want to capitalize on that. And for the ones who will be on attack mode, if there is a full course yellow or an intervention, that will be very, very crucial for them. So hopefully we won't see that.
This is really interesting to watch Dan Ticktum. First time ever at the front of a Formula E race, trying to copy Oliver Rowland, stay in the slipstream, save as much energy as possible. He's not under any threat from Pascal Wehrlein at the moment.
Oh, Da Costa there getting friendly with Taylor Barnard down to turn 1. Barnard manages to get around the outside of Da Costa as they come through into turn 3. Very close quarters indeed between those two drivers, and they manage to avoid any further contact. This is where it really gets quite tight and twisty in the latter part of this first sector. Interestingly, the first sector of the lap has been opened up compared to this time last year.
So just info, Rowland is running to his target. Rowland is running to his target.
So the information here from Pascal's engineer is that Rowland is following the target, meaning he's not trying to slow down the race to probably at the end maybe have a higher target and do a flat-out race. So at the moment, Rowland is following the plan to do the most efficient race as possible.
Just keeping an eye on Jake Hughes, because as we know, he's the only driver in attack mode at the moment. He was a couple of seconds quicker than those around him. He's not made much of an impact in terms of positions on this race. Speaking of making an impact, Wehrlein having a look to the inside down at turn 16. It's a brave driver that can pull that one off, but he looks a bit impatient behind Dan Ticktum here.
I think he's going to be quite cautious as well, not to crash into the side Dan Ticktum. Dan's doing a fantastic job for that Porsche powertrain inside the Cupra Kiro. So he's going to have to be careful he doesn't do anything silly.
Look at this though, meanwhile, change of position potentially down into the first corner. That's Nato on Da Costa, pushes Da Costa towards the wall on the outside. Maybe an opportunity opening up here for Lucas de Grassi.
So the tricky part here for the drivers is that if the field at the front is not driving as fast, which I believe so, there is bigger lifting points, so more opportunities for the drivers behind to send it down the inside, and it's very hard to keep your track position. So Oliver is in control, but the others, they're stressing.
A lot of drivers going through into attack mode, including that man there, which is Jake Hughes, as we know. He was in it last time around. You've also got Nick de Vries as well as Maximilian Gunther and Sebastian Buemi.
It's going to go under his front tyre, so that is dangerous.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get that stop. He might incur a flag from the stewards here if it gets a bit dangerous.
I'm quite surprised there hasn't been a flag already for that part of the car. That's not ideal to have that hanging off.
Hughes looking to the outside here of Sam Bird for the final place in the points at the moment. This should be a nice, easy overtake for Jake Hughes, given the extra 50 kilowatts of power and the addition of all-wheel drive. Indeed, he is ahead of the Briton coming out of turn 15.
So he's vaulted himself up from 17th to 11th, using only 3.5 minutes of the attack mode so far.
Bird and de Vries under investigation for a collision, so presumably that's what's caused de Vries's front wing to come a cropper. We ride on board, meanwhile, with Sam Bird down towards turn 1. Looks to the outside of de Grassi there, but nothing doing so far for the Briton. Down the ramp we go into turns 3 and 4. Attack modes being made then for Taylor Barnard, as well as Antonio Felix da Costa. So expect to see them cycling further up the pack. Now they've got the addition of four-wheel drive and extra traction, as we see da Costa getting ahead of Lucas de Grassi.
Now the good thing is for the guys at the front is these guys in the mid-pack fighting, battling, trying to hold back the guys in the all-wheel drive attack mode. They're going to burn so much more energy than the front three that are just doing their own rhythm and calmly driving at the front of this race.
Barnard through on Nato for P6, then into the chicane, made that look nice and easy. Next target, Jean-Eric Vergne, who is up the road. Vergne is the sort of last driver in the lead group, as it were, that hasn't made an attack mode deployment at the moment. So let's see how quickly he's going to be able to get himself in front of the Frenchman. Wehrlein again looking aggressive on Dan Ticktum for second. So Barnard now through on Vergne, coming through turn 16, and a bit of hip and shoulder there between De Grassi and Da Costa through the final corner. Da Costa has got his attack mode deployment remaining 3 minutes as they come across the timing line.
It's 3 or 4 wide going down.
Fantastic, isn't it? On board we are here with Jake Dennis. He might be a bit of a sitting duck because he's got Buemi in front of him who's in attack mode, but Gunther and Maloney behind, who are also in. And look at this, a smorgasbord of drivers at the start of lap 7, all of whom are going into attack mode. Everybody but leader Oliver Rowland into attack mode then in the top 10.
Now, could we see Dan Ticktum vault himself into the lead and get in front of Oliver Rowland? Because if he can get that track position. Maybe that's what Oliver wants. He's been a master of strategy this season. Maybe he wants Dan to overtake him so he can drive behind and save a little bit of energy in the slipstream.
Well, that's going to be my next point, is that Ticktum, of course, if he gets ahead, that's all well and good, but he's in attack mode. He's expending more energy at this point now.
But now he's unlocking some pace to create a gap and go for attack mode.
He also got someone between himself and Wehrlein, which was so important.
Yeah, this is working nicely here for Ticktum. He goes to the inside for the race lead, down to the first corner. Dan Ticktum leads for Cupra Kiro. And fantastic overtake there down into turn 1. And now we see the remaining energy available for the drivers. Ticktum and Rowland, pretty even Stevens at the front.
Ticktum looks really strong here. His car looks so well balanced, and when you have a good balance in your car, you can roll the speed through the corner, and having high minimum speeds, you are able to use less energy.
Can he get this one done? There's a bit of contact into there as Rowland again takes the defensive inside line, compromises his exit. Here comes Barnard through and up into second.
Is there anything this rookie will not do in a Formula E car? What an amazing move.
Yeah, incredible. He's really, really good and very decisive to do the good overtakes, and very, very great to see, and drives like he has a lot of experience already.
Rowland's can now move behind Pascal Wehrlein, who's blast past him down the start-finish straight into the first corner. So 3 places lost over the course of 1 lap then for Oliver Rowland.
Now the good thing for Ticktum is he had more energy than Barnard, so if he can stay in front of this phase of the race and be smart, Barnard's almost out of his attack mode, then Ticktum can control the pace at the front and really try and get his rhythm back. And this is a new experience for the Kiro Cupra team as well. They're leading a race.
We go full course yellow in 3, 2, 1, full course yellow.
Full course yellow then, that's for debris on the circuit. You can see a bit of what looks like front wing presumably there. So that means the drivers are going to have to slow right down here.
I really hope Dan Ticktum didn't overshoot the entry into that full course yellow, because he looked like he braked much later than Pascal Wehrlein.
Yeah, you can see the debris there on the circuit.
That's Nick de Vries's front wing.
The one that you were saying you're surprised they haven't given a flag for.
Yes, I was expecting a flag for Nick's front wing that was hanging off after that damage.
All bunched up now, and the gap should neutralise. Let's have a look at de Vries's front wing going off of the car. So he had a bit of contact then into turns 10 and 11.
Big old whack into the back of Sam Bird.
Let's have a look at it. He's just going to get all crossed up on the brakes here, presumably.
Whoa.
He's braked way too late.
Way too late. Luckily, it's a big impact and very low damage. He got lucky with that.
It's the pedal in the middle you want. But
yeah, because he was far back. He was like completely outbrakes himself.
No, it's
a big shame for the team also in
Attention,
the
everyone.
team standings.
This is full course yellow ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag, please.
So full course yellow comes to an end. Green flag flies. Racing then resumes. And look at this, because you've got Rowland looking to pounce.
So attack situation, all 3 cars ahead of you have 4 minutes left. Almost everyone behind has 4 minutes left, apart from Mortara, 6 minutes remaining. Mortara, only car with 6 minutes remaining.
So Rowland's in a bit of an interesting position here, because of course he wants to lose as few positions as he can when he does attack mode, so he doesn't have to spend more energy and more time cycling through the rest of the pack. How does he play this now, James, whilst he's in 4th, but obviously there's a big gaggle of cars behind?
I think he might be waiting till quite late in the race, because if there is a safety car at any point and it bunches up, his attack mode that he has, or the 2 available,
it should just keep it out of the rear diffuser of Norman Nato, as we see the final attack mode deployment there being made for Oliver Rowland. So he's gone through. Cassidy has also gone through, exactly as you say. So nicely done there for them. That's going to possibly leave some drivers under threat. Vergne, though, is on the inside of Nick Cassidy. Does he manage to get the move done? Yes, he does.
So there's Oliver Rowland listening to Andre's strategy. You want to be offset to the others, and he knows that the others are going to wait till the last possible moment. So it was a very smart move by him.
Well, the risk with that, as we saw in Miami, is you leave it a bit too late and you end up with a safety car, full course yellow. You can't use all of that attack mode deployment for the remainder of the race. It's a good strategy, but a risky one, especially on a street circuit where crashes have been very prominent. Look at Rowland for the inside line on Edo Mortara for 5th place into turn 15. A little bit wide on the exit, but the move is done. He's now got 5 minutes to try and cycle his way through to the front of the field.
He's going to have to get himself from 5th into the lead in the next 5 minutes if he wants a chance to win this race.
All or nothing time for Oliver Rowland. He's going to throw everything at this one. Let's see how quickly he can depose of Jake Dennis. Down the start-finish straight we go. 50 kilowatts and all-wheel drive is no match for the Andretti, and now it's 4th place at the start of lap 23.
He went very deep into turn 1. The problem is he might overheat his tyres when he's pushing this hard. He's sliding a lot, but he knows he's a bit desperate.
Look at this, top 3 going through to attack mode. Where does Rowland go through? He comes out in 2nd place. Wehrlein retains the lead there, so that's worked out beautifully for Pascal Wehrlein. And for the Tag Heuer Porsche team, Ticktum in 3rd position, and now you've got a bit of a stalemate.
So mode 1, race echo, drive to beep.
I think Rowland's got a little bit more energy as well than Pascal Wehrlein. So Rowland's got more time in attack mode and a little bit more energy to use. He's going to have to burn that state of charge and use all the energy he can to get into the lead of this race.
Especially in that 1 minute, that's his money time. When Pascal Wehrlein runs out of attack mode, that's where we'll need to make it count.
Remember what he did there when he was able to get himself through.
It's going to be the exit of this corner. Exit of turn 15 is Oliver's only chance. Is he going to be able to line it up? He's looking good, he's looking good.
Wehrlein defends, but now is the opportunity with the extra traction and power. Wehrlein tries to push Rowland to the outside, but Rowland goes through and into the race lead for Nissan here in Tokyo, to the delight of the crowd in Japan. Oliver Rowland is the lead. He comes to the end of attack mode. Now he's got track position. Can he hold the lead over the remaining 5 laps of this race?
What a fantastic move. Unbelievable. The gap was almost less than a Formula E's car's width. Oliver Rowland still managed to slip on through.
Wehrlein tried to defend there, tried to squeeze him in the wall, but didn't make it.
So now we look at the top 4 drivers, all line astern, all with relatively similar levels of energy, and all with no attack mode deployments remaining. Keep an eye out for Mortara, though. I mentioned it earlier on. He could be a cork in the bottle here.
What's the attack situation behind?
On the exit here, this is where we've seen some of the moves. Now you're coming up to the really difficult 16. Barnard again.
Yeah, we report, keep
Barnard looking for the inside, trying to transfer the outside. Here comes Ticktum looking for the inside line against Taylor Barnard. Into the final chicane, it's going to bottleneck up, nearly 3 abreast. Ticktum going for the outside on Pascal Wehrlein. Doesn't manage to make it stick, but does get ahead of Taylor Barnard for 3rd place. Down the start finish straight we go. Ticktum through for 2nd. Down into turn 1, Mortara on Barnard as well. This is getting frantic, fast and frenetic somehow. And now Dennis, look at this as well on Mortara, challenging for positions. What a race this is turning out to be. It's Rowland in front of Wehrlein. Ticktum now through into 3rd. Dennis on the inside of Mortara. Carbon fibre cranched and damaged there, but Barnard's in the wall.
Will we see a safety car or a full course yellow to neutralise this race? What amazing racing.
Goodness me, Barnard into the barrier, and a run for the podium, possibly a victory, comes to a premature end. Double yellow down at turn 5 at the moment, but are we going to get, as James said, a full course yellow or a safety car here?
Fast attack mode. He had to recover some of that energy deficit, and therefore he was trying to slow down, recover it, and the fight behind was amazing.
Aggressive defending there from him, and everyone's bunching up and creating a lot of mess. So it's really sad to see Taylor Barnard retire from this race, because he had great potential and he was on the move to go forward.
Yeah, there was contact there with Edo Mortara going into the right-hander, and that unfortunately 20-year-old from Norwich out of the race.
And I think it was contact from Mortara that initiated that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So Barnard out of this one then. Dennis up 10 places here. Confirmation of no added laps. This is going to be a sprint to the finish if indeed that safety car does come in. So look at Mortara, 5th in your picture.
Now this was the move on Dan Ticktum. Brilliant from Barnard. Round the outside of turn 6. Just parked himself on the inside of turn 7. Nothing Dan could do about that. Bit of a surprise, but a brilliant move.
Yeah, and this is where it all really got feisty going into the final chicane. So you see Rowland versus Wehrlein side by side. Ticktum got the better of Barnard. Barnard had more momentum but no room to use it because there was a Porsche right in front of him. And then down into the next part of the circuit, this is where it kicked off. So Mortara's going to go clattering into the back of Taylor Barnard. Barnard with broken suspension straight into the wall.
Small touch but with huge consequences. And yeah, Oliver Rowland is actually creating quite a bit of a mess for everyone behind him.
Man, I feel sorry for you guys as well. This race was so good. Such a good race until I get taken out.
So we begin the final lap's worth of racing. Ena Mortara with a 5-second penalty in 5th position. This is going to be fast and frantic, James.
Yeah, can't wait to see how this is going to unfold. That first lap, we saw a few people out-braking themselves down to turn 1. Let's see what happens at the restart.
Rowland's bolted. He's gone early. He had to, didn't he, going into the final corner. So across the timing line we go to begin the last lap of racing under green flag conditions. Rowland it is that leads from Pascal Wehrlein, and no surprise at all there for Oliver Rowland. He is pushing on as hard as he can to try and not allow an opportunity for Wehrlein or indeed maybe Ticktum to attack.
Ticktum looks like he's actually all over the back of Pascal Wehrlein. His car's looking really hooked up here in 3rd place.
So through the left-hander we go, and down through into the right. Ticktum trying to find an opportunity against Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein in turn trying to attack, but also keep an eye on his mirrors from behind. Now the track begins to open up as we end the first sector. Coming through the fast right-hander of turn 9, we have seen some moves being made into the chicane, but I think they're just a little bit too far away at the moment. And energy not really a concern thanks to that late race safety car. Into turns 10 and 11 we go. Keep an eye out for Jake Dennis from behind as well. He sniffs an opportunity for a second successive weekend on the Formula E podium. Through into turn 15. And again, we have seen some moves being made through there, but likewise not quite close enough. I think this is a case of defending rather than attacking at the moment. Unfortunately, the driver's just that little bit too far away, thanks to not needing to conserve energy in the closing stages of this race. So we come down now into the final chicane. An imperious performance once again from Oliver Rowland, who's going to win this one in Nissan's backyard. Oliver Rowland takes victory in Tokyo ahead of Pascal Wehrlein and Dan Ticktum. A phenomenal race, and the late race safety car really changing the complexion of it. And again, it is Oliver Rowland who takes victory in season 11. His 4th win of the year. Absolutely phenomenal.
The driver to get on that journey together. A result like that is super important, and I think he could have even done better. He had the performance, but yeah, it wasn't going to go down well so. And this is exactly the result he needed to get that confidence that he's part of the top drivers. He knew he can do it, but now he's shown the world that he belongs up there, and if he has the right car, he can do it. And it'll be interesting to see how the second half of the year will be for him with that extra confidence.
Well, he's spent a few years in the wilderness as Dan Ticktum, so there's a very well-deserved debut podium in Formula E for the Briton. But this man here, Oliver Rowland, victory number 4 in season 11, and sheer delight.
Fans enjoying so much the Formula E race. They have such great motorsport culture, and Formula E is new to them, but I think they really love it.
Mr. Riko Kyoki, the governor here in Japan, presenting the winner's trophy to Oliver Rowland. And now time for his daughter to exit stage right, and time for the champagne to be sprayed here in Japan, and I'm sure for the celebrations to go long on into the night. Tommaso Volpe, well, the team really operating at the maximum of their potential. 2 races and 2 podium finishes for Oliver Rowland. They'll be delighted, and it will certainly help their cause.